right, so now who is it going to be? Will it be John Force there on the left of your screen, or will it be Jack Beckman? And there is Jack Beckman, looking to go his 9th final round in the 24 races held at 1,000 feet. To do that, he's going to have to get around John Force. He's not been to a final round since Topeka's race last season, which was his only race win last year. He hazes the tires, John Force does, and Jack Beckman takes the win, a 4:32 with a 2 at 271 miles an hour.
Well, I'll tell you, that was a very nice pass by Jack Beckman. Remember, he didn't have lane choice, put him in that left lane, which nobody in the nitro categories has really wanted all day long. But I'll tell you what, his car looked awfully good in that lane. Coming off of, the previous round where he went 482, smoking tires through the middle, I'll tell you, Johnny West put a nice tune-up on that car to run that kind of number. John Force not so lucky in this right-hand lane. The good lane, the preferred lane, I should say, not necessarily the good lane. You see it start spinning the tires just at that point where a lot of people are actually a little bit farther down track. Probably went about 400 feet instead of 300 feet before he started spinning the tires, and that was just enough to allow Jack Beckman to get into the final.
So let's match up the final in Funny Car for you. It's going to look this way with Bob Tasca and Jack Beckman, and Jack will have the lane choice. Is he going to get a big birthday present? I'm about to find out. With Funny Cars coming up, it will be Bob Tasca III. He's there on the right side of your screen, and that man, Jack Beckman. They are 2 of our 6 race winners in Funny Car this year. A lot of different winners. These guys looking for some repeats now.
Look at Jack Beckman's road to the final round. I'll tell you, Bob Tasca has the consistent race car, but the performance had been kind of stuck in the 440 range. Jack Beckman, on the other hand, he spun the tires in the second round, but his other 2 runs, including that semifinal run of a 432, was an excellent pass. I think Crew Chief Chris Cunningham for Bob Tasca is probably going to have to try to step it up just a little bit, even though that car's been down the racetrack every single time it goes to the starting line this weekend.
It is the first final round for this pair. Beckman won in Atlanta over Ashley Force Hood, and Bob Tasca scored the win at Gainesville. Did that over Tony Pedregat, who was hoping for a repeat here. He won the last 2 races, but he was out very early on in competition, and that had an overall effect then on the points. So let's take a look at those points. Just to remind us, in Funny Car, Ashley Force Hood took over the points. And if Jack Beckman scores a win here, Mike, he's going to move up substantially.
And the key is to be in the top 10, but you really want to be in the top 5 when you come out of the U.S. Nationals when they reset the points, because you definitely have a better chance at getting the championship.
Well, I had a chance to talk with Mark Dinner and Chris Cunningham, the co-crew chiefs there for Bob Tasca. It's not been as picture-perfect a day as it's been in qualifying for this team. Yeah, they've gone down the racetrack every time, but they did have some ignition issues in the second round. It's got them kind of chasing their tails a little bit. But, bottom line, Mike, I've been talking to a lot of crew chiefs today, and they say they cannot calm these cars down enough to control that spin. They don't want to get to a situation where they start dropping multiple cylinders. So, pretty much the rule of the day has been, as long as it doesn't break free and it's spinning, keep your leg in it, drive it to the finish line.
Not only have these 2 guys never met in finals, they've never met one another in head-to-head competition at all. Well, John Force, the family standing by, obviously hoping that Ford, Bob Tasca's, will do well. We're showing you the wins by lane.
A lot different than what we saw at Englishtown, where it was pretty much one-sided. This should be a good final round matchup right here. The track's a little bit cooler, but we could still possibly see some good wheel spin. Oh, Jack Beckman just did a terrible job of red lighting. In other words, he did red light. He was 001, almost perfect off of the starting line. He almost gave that away. And look at that pass, a 4:31 elapsed time. That was a very good run in that lane. And boy, I'll tell you what, if he'd have been 0.02 of a second quicker, that would have been a miserable ride down the track, no matter how quick and fast it was going.
Happy birthday, Jack Beckman, 43 years old.
Take a look, just blew the tires right off the head of the throttle. Bob Tasca did, and his day was done.
Dave?
Johnny West, we just talked about this day being basically survival and a lot of luck. How difficult a challenge was this for crew chiefs this weekend?
Well, it's just tricky, and after you get off the second part of the asphalt, it just gets really touchy, and we just have to play the game. You know, my best asset right now is having Don and Lee really help me out. They've been behind me. Lee's given me a lot of good advice, helped me think in a different direction, and it's all proves for us.
Your driver was 001, by the way, on the reaction timer there. That's close. Gary Gerald?
Indeed. Happy birthday all the way around for Jack Beckman. But what we're curious about, the last two events, Englishtown and prior to that, Chicago, I believe it was, first round knockouts. What's the difference today?
Well, we didn't qualify good at those races, and when you qualify 15th and 16th, and Ashley Force is running that good, and you got her first round, you got 2 strikes against you. Oh, people want to hold me here. And it's my birthday. I got to tell you, it wasn't my driving on the starting line this weekend that did it. It was our crew for the Valvoline engine guarantee car. I hope they can guarantee us a win every time we go around this body. That was a lot of fun. For Mopar, for our 9 guys, Lee Beard's been over helping John and Johnny out. This is just fantastic. Honey, Jason, Dad's coming home with a Wowie. This is awesome. Thank you, guys.
You keep cutting 001 lights, you may be grabbing a whole handful of those things.
I'll be looking for a job if I keep doing that. Thanks, guys.